Hey fam, this podcast is brought to you by our friends at Minimal Case. The Pixel 4 launches officially today, October 24th. Now you've heard me talk about the 25% discount you can get at Minimal Case, but Minimal is so excited about the Pixel that they're giving you an additional 10% off today only. That's right, 35% off of any case for any phone. Just use the promo code IT'sHERE at checkout. That code is good for October 24th only. So go to mnmlcase.com and use the promo code IT'sHERE, all one word, ITSHERE, to get 35% off your order. And as always, we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. Good morning, Digit fam. Adam Doud here with the latest headlines ready for your consumption. That's right, just consider me your barista of tech. Sure, I'll misspell your name on the cup, but I'll use every ounce of knowledge gained by my liberal arts degree to make that little foam heart that you love so much. So let's get to it. It is October 24th, 2019, and this is your Digit Daily. The BBC has joined the dark side, or should I say the dark web. No, it's not selling drugs or murder for hire, but you can use the same browser you would use for either of those things to surf to the BBC website now. BBC.com added a .onion address, which mirrors its main site for the Tor browser. The Tor web browser allows you to surf the internet anonymously. How, you might ask? Well, I'll let the delightful 1992 dramedy Sneakers illustrate the concept.
I'm going to bounce this call through 9 different relay stations throughout the world and off 2 satellites. It'll be the hardest trace they've ever heard.
In 1992, this was considered the height of computer hackery. In 2019, there's an app for that. We've come a long way, haven't we? But basically, the Tor browser routes your internet traffic through the Tor network, stripping away all personal information, leaving you completely anonymous. It's like incognito mode on steroids. But there is another benefit. Certain sites, like those with a .onion extension, are only accessible via a Tor web browser. If you tried to visit BBC News v2vjtpsuy.onion on Google Chrome, the site wouldn't work. So why is this significant? Well, first of all, I should clarify that saying the BBC has joined the dark web is fairly disingenuous, but that did not stop multiple headlines from saying so. Tor isn't the dark web, it's just a tool that you can use to surf the dark web in order to stay anonymous, but just because you're using a Tor browser doesn't mean you're automatically selling babies or anything. There are many legitimate reasons to use Tor as a web browser every day. It's a fairly slow way to browse the web, but it's effective at protecting your privacy. The idea here is to make BBC News available in some countries that block traffic to its main site. Using the .onion mirror can allow users in, say, China or Iran to access the BBC's content. The New York Times has had a Tor mirror for a couple of years now, as has Facebook, although you hilariously have to log into your Facebook account in order to use the site. So much for anonymity. So I guess the question is, should you download a Tor browser? Well, that's up to you. If you value privacy even more than an incognito browser can provide, then sure. But when I say browsing the web on a Tor browser is slow, I mean it's very slow. As for me, I don't use a Tor browser, nor do I go onto the dark web. To me, going on the dark web is kind of like downhill skiing. Sure, it's probably fun for some people, but I know for a fact that if I tried it, I'd run face first into a tree, Sonny Bono style. So while we ponder that lovely image, let's head into the roundup! The Google Pixel 4 has a 90 Hz refresh rate on its screen. We've talked about that before, but users have since discovered that the refresh rate is seemingly tied to the screen brightness for some reason. Increase the screen's brightness to more than 75% and 90 Hz kicks in. Drop below 75% and the screen drops to 60 Hz. Google did tout an adaptive screen refresh rate, meaning the phone automatically drops to 60 Hz when using apps that don't support 90 Hz in order to conserve battery. But tying it to screen brightness seems weird. So Google is going to fix it. Thanks for the reminder of why you should never buy a Pixel in the first 3 months, Google. You may remember Huawei's folding phone, the Huawei Mate X. Huawei finally launched the Mate X in China, which will start shipping next month. But Huawei wasted no time in also announcing the Huawei Mate X S, which will basically be the Huawei Mate X, but with some upgraded internals like the Kirin 990 chip instead of the Kirin 980 that will ship with the Mate X. That's an unusual strategy, announcing a follow-up device to one that you're not even shipping yet, but hey Huawei, we'll see if it works out for you. As for potential buyers now, the Mate X starts at $2,400 with an upgraded version coming in early 2020. Yeah, I'm sure that'll get people to flock to the stores. Mark Zuckerberg appeared before the U.S. Congress yesterday to answer some questions about Libra. Naturally, the questions were not limited to Libra exclusively, with Congress members calling various aspects of Facebook's privacy issues and ethics into question. Some topics of note include Cambridge Analytica and Facebook's complete lack of fact-checking for political ads. Arguably, the most intense questioning came from the Democratic side of the aisle. The Republicans seemed to incline to let their fellow rich white guy off the hook. Professional courtesy, I guess. One congressman asked Zuckerberg how it intended to monetize Libra, to which Zuckerberg replied, "Well, Congressman, you may not believe this, but that's actually not the first thing we talk about at the company." And he raises a good point. I don't believe him. But Zuckerberg went on to explain that if cryptocurrency becomes a thing that people use on the regular, then Facebook can charge more for ads, which... okay, sure, I guess I get that. If Libra takes off, then more people on Facebook can use Facebucks to buy stuff from advertisers directly, and that's worth more to Facebook and advertisers. It's a fairly long-term strategy. We'll see if it pays off for them. One story I've been following with interest is the development of Foxconn in Wisconsin, my neighboring state to the north. Not surprisingly, Foxconn followed its typical strategy of announcing huge plans with even bigger tax breaks, and then disappearing without a trace. This is a strategy that Foxconn has implemented in various regions around the world, including Pennsylvania, Indonesia, Vietnam, and more. I'm not sure if Foxconn is playing some kind of broken promise bingo or what's going on here, but at some point people have to stop believing them, right? Well, anyway, the original 13,000 jobs at an LCD manufacturing plant got reduced to about 1,000 jobs in 5 innovation centers around Wisconsin, and not even one innovation center has opened since because, let's face it, the words innovation and Wisconsin are rarely used in the same sentence. And finally, Hyperstealth Biotechnology, a Canadian company which makes uniforms for soldiers, developed a paper-thin cloaking material that requires no power and bends the light around a subject, rendering them basically invisible to visual, infrared, ultraviolet, and thermal imaging. The company released a neat demonstration video in which they show the material hiding people and miniature tanks and planes and, oh, military. Yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. Invisible soldiers. Great. So that's going to do it for today's Digit Daily. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on Digit.com. And if you like what you heard, subscribe, leave a review, and don't forget to tell your friends about DigitDailyPod.com. Once again, I'm Adam Doud, Dead Technology on Twitter, and we'll talk again tomorrow, if the invisible soldiers haven't come for me by then.